What's up, guys? Cody here with another episode of Anima Talks, an Ethereal podcast focused on discussing Ethereal news and information as it pertains to gameplay, as well as discussing various MOBA concepts, systems, and ideas, and how they relate to Ethereal. And as always, I'm joined by my good friend ReppedoutTv.
Hello.
The script is a little shoddy today, because new job, which I'll talk about that at the end. I think I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's an important part of your life, man.
Well, it's an important part, and it also ties into a hobby. So I'm exhausted from it. So got a couple different things on the docket today. First up is the discussion of voice chat. Should Ethereal have a voice chat? From what we know of, there won't be any for an alpha, and they haven't given a definitive yes or no on it for the future. So, voice chat, what's your thoughts?
Um, I think yes, there should be a voice chat, but I think they should. I want to say like incentivize or like, make it so like an honor system, right? So you know how League of Legends has like the honor system where it's like
Right.
yeah, where it's like it would be an added benefit of like an honor system or something like that. So like because like nobody wants to be in voice chat if your entire team is just toxic. Like, who wants
So,
to just be berated?
if you get down to like honor level 1 or something like how League does, and you're just restricted from voice chat.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
I would say that. Like, if they're going to add it, if not, you could do like the opt-in system that like League of Legends says with their League voice, but it's kind of trash. So it's like I
The
don't know.
League voice is pretty trash, and it's only for pre-made parties.
Yeah,
You can't. I don't even think you can get it in Clash, which is the dumbest part. Like that's the one time you would want that system to work, and it doesn't work.
yeah. I mean, like in all reality, I don't really know how much a voice chat really matters because like everybody uses Discord anyway.
Yeah. Well, a
I
voice
would say
chat
in
for
like
talking.
pubs, I guess.
Yeah, it's voice chat for talking to randoms.
I mean, yeah, I would say like maybe in a certain elo, like maybe like once you hit a certain ranked, right? Like when ranked comes out, maybe not for the alpha. Like I would say probably not for that. But
Yeah.
then maybe as the game progresses, maybe you just have like a certain milestone you have to hit. That's what I would say.
You have to hit. Well, I mean, I I think if you're gonna have voice chat, I don't think you can gatekeep it with rank. Because I think that like then all of a sudden it's like the jump from like plat, let's say like it's diamond level is like
Hmm.
the jump from there to diamond. All of a sudden you have to like end up learning new skills, so to say. Like a lot of the skills like that happens from solo queue of the lack of communication. That's which is more egregious in lower ranks as well. All that stuff that you might have been abusing, you can now no longer abuse to the full extent anymore. And so I think that if you're going to have a voice chat system, you just have to make it available for all ranks.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. The reason why I say like reach a certain rank is it incentivizes like climbing.
Okay.
So like maybe not voice, maybe voice chat isn't one of them, but it's like I think that that would be a good incentive because it's like let's just say you are gold, right, or you're plat, or let's the cutoff is D4, right? It's like if you're plat 1 or like plat 2 and you're like yo, like it's so annoying not being able to communicate to my teammates. Like to me, if communication is a big problem within the game, it's like that would be like all right, look, like once I hit this milestone, like it theoretically should get easier, right? Like
Mhm.
being able to communicate to your team should make the game easier. I think also it'd be perfectly fine if like you did have an in-game voice, but I think adding an incentive to improve and get better would just like motivate me specifically. So
Okay. I think I think if they were gonna do something like that, they'd have to put it. I say a lower rank. I know when I say like gold, that gold is like the where rewards start for league.
hmm
And to me and you, gold is like whatever. Like we can literally get it like that if we start a new account. But I know that for some people, getting to gold is like an actual struggle for them, and
Yeah,
so I could see that because then because people would be like, okay, yeah, now I'm moving up, and like
yeah,
now I'm actually. But I think you wouldn't be able to like when I gave the example of diamond. I think that's not feasible because you're literally
yeah,
limiting it to the top 1% of players at that point, or at least if
yeah.
we're using League of Legends metrics.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like gold, maybe high gold, low plat,
Uh,
maybe would be. I definitely wouldn't introduce it to like bronze, silver.
that would
Like
be
I like,
freaking chaos.
uh, yeah, I would just mute all every game. I'd be like, I'm done. I don't even care. I
Hey
don't want to
guys,
listen to this.
I don't worry. This my freaking AP Mage Malaya build right here. You know, support AP Mage Malaya. It's 100% a thing, guys. Okay, and if it doesn't work, it's all your faults. Okay, it's not
Yep.
me. It's not me.
Jung-
Oh,
it's
by the way, I
jungle
also need to
ghosting.
take the jungle camps for myself as well. Like I need the first 3 jungle camps to make this work.
Yeah, bro, I would. Oh, I'd run. I'd run away. I feel like that'd be more of a detriment. So I think you would have to add some gate to like get through, in my opinion, to make it like.
Okay.
And I think there's something subconsciously like if you unlock something, like at least me, like I don't know, like if I unlock something, I'm more likely to use that because it's not just something that was like given to me, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's like I earned this, so I'm going to use it and use it to its full extent. But that really opens up like how are you going to punish people for
Mm.
being toxic within voice chat? Because like it's much more difficult to punish people for being toxic over voice than it is for them typing, right?
Yeah, because it's easier to keep a log of chat. It's not easy to keep a
Yeah.
log of audio.
Yeah,
Y-
that'd be a lot of data.
Yeah. Like
That'd be a lot of data.
yeah. How does Overwatch do it? Because I know they have voice chat. Do you know how they do it?
I mean, so this is pure speculation, but I would assume that they have like an archive on like a database or like a server somewhere that
Okay.
they like archive, and then they could probably pull up like when you report something, and they could probably pull up like specific match histories. And
Okay.
they only probably only keep it for like a certain period of time, right? Or
Yeah.
like depending on infractions, they probably keep that. But like I would say that like Blizzard, Riot are a little bit bigger
Right.
than they're
Yeah.
also like
Just a little bit, you know. You
yeah.
know.
So I would say that that would maybe be like something difficult. That'd be an obstacle for sure.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it would just have to be just number based. You know, unique match based, I guess,
Hmm.
is a better way of
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah.
So,
I think that's fair.
I'm like, that's the only way you could do it, and then it's just like, I mean, depending upon like how far we're gonna take it. Like, technically, everyone's already asking, like, everyone's been asking for Riot to have like high elo police, essentially,
Yeah.
and like, if Riot ain't doing it, I mean, Ethereal is not gonna have the resources to do it.
I mean,
But
I would argue that like that would be a it would be very smart for Ethereal to do it because like that would be a major selling point for like a lot of MOBA players is like high elo police or like mid elo police or like whatever like how the tribunal system used to be or like something where people know the game and it's like yep you're inting good luck goodbye. It's
mhm.
like for me that would be the biggest selling point is like if you report somebody it matters,
Yeah.
where like League is like you report somebody it's like okay
Yeah, I mean, like,
nice.
it's sad, like, because when you watch League, like, high elo League streamers, they all know, like, oh, this guy's an inter, you know, and it's like, well, if he's an inter, why is he like,
Why is he playing? Why
yeah,
is he
why is he
here?
playing? Like they all kind of know each other up there because there's only a handful of them that are playing,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
makes sense.
especially if they're queuing up at the same time every day. So it's like, at what point is like, are we gonna do something about it? You know. So
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, and there's like not an excuse of like, oh, I made a bad play. It's like some of them are so egregious that it's like, dog, you're like the top 0.01%, and that's something like a gold player wouldn't do. Like, come on, like,
Yeah.
really? So,
Yeah.
other than something to think of
Um.
though.
Oh well, real fast. If you had voice chat as an option in like League of Legends, would you use it?
No,
Oh yeah.
unless it was like incentivized, like I wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
But also I also feel like it's an unfair comparison because like the League of Legends community is
I mean,
yeah.
but the thing is though is that with Ethereal, there's a large silent majority that's not active, on anything, and like you'll see them pop up every now and then, and they'll just come in and be like, "Hey, when's this game coming out?" And it's like, "Oh, soon," and they go back into the shadows. So there's that large majority that are all coming, from all these different MOBAs and whatnot, and I think a lot of them coming from League as well, just because people like if you're playing MOBAs, you probably have played League.
Yeah,
Um,
and you're probably gonna try out a new MOBA.
yeah, so I think that the whole like, oh, Ethel's community is so great. I think, yeah, it is, but that's the active community at this
Mhm.
moment. You don't know how that's gonna be when the game comes out. I
Yep,
mean,
it'll depend on how
yeah,
they handle.
people
How,
can't be bitchy about like at you for like doing stuff wrong within like the first week. I think most people are gonna be like, oh yeah, like everyone's learning the game. Like I don't even know, like they're not gonna know like what's good technically.
oh
So
yeah,
I think after that, you're gonna start to see it ramp up, especially if there's
yeah,
like an internal MMR system.
yep. No, I mean, well, yeah, and like as the game, like as the meta develops, and as people learn the games and the mechanics of the games, obviously people are gonna get more competitive and like more, I want to say try hardy, and especially if there's an MMR based system, it's like,
I guess we should add that onto the list. What's your thoughts on having an MMR system?
please, please add an MMR based matchmaking. Like, there's in my mind there is zero reason to not have an MMR based matches. Like, so think of it for new players. Imagine if you were a new player just starting MOBAs or just starting like, Ethereal or whatever, and then you get placed for somebody who's been playing since like alpha.
Yeah.
And they just run you over. It's like, oh yeah, I really want to play this game. Um, and it allows you to improve over time. It's like there's no reason that a new player, regardless of how many times they've played a MOBA, should play versus somebody who's like, a
Hmm.
professional, right? Or like whatever. It just makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, because there's been some people that are like, oh, we don't want to match, we don't want MMR for the beginning. I don't remember what the reasons were exactly,
I guess
but
like queue times maybe.
I guess. But I mean, for me, it's like it's the same thing as like having a rank system early on, except that you can play with. Technically, you could have your buddy that's new and zero MMR, and you're at 5,000, and you could play together,
Yeah.
and like that would definitely hinder
Yeah.
everyone's experience. But
I mean, I think it would just enable the growth of like the player base, right? Because it's like if you're constantly being tried and you're constantly having to like outplay people rather than just being like better, it would enhance the community's skill level, right?
do you think that the MMR system should be transparent? Like, essentially, like, do you think that they should show you a number? Like,
Yes. So one thing that I don't like about League, but I really like about StarCraft 2, is it show like StarCraft 2 will show you your MMR. So like if you go to your profile, it will say like MMR 4333 or like whatever, right? And then it'll tell you the rank bracket that you're in. So
okay,
it's like you might be platinum 1, but your MMR is actually like diamond 2. And then like you visually see that, so I don't have to go to like some random website and be like, yo, here's my summoner name or whatever name. Like, please tell me my MMR. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Just tell me my MMR, man.
Is with it like I'm in the same boat as you. I do think it should be, and I mean personally, I think me and you both agree that like for the most part, MMR and rank should match up, anyways. Which in League of Legends it definitely does not, and it's very very problematic. Um, but
Yeah.
do you think that like I mean essentially if they have just if you're given a number, saying like this is essentially your skill level, I think people are just gonna end up treating it like ranked almost.
Mm.
Almost.
I mean, yeah. I would say yes, but I also wouldn't say that that's like a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's bad, but I mean you get people that are pissy, but then it's also like if that's the only mode, there might be some people that are just like I don't want to tank my MMR.
Yeah, I mean, well, because like even in League, right? Like normals, right? Like you still have a normal MMR, you still have an ARAM MMR, you still have like
Yeah.
a ranked MMR, right?
They
So
don't,
like,
but I don't think people are thinking about that necessarily. I think when people like
no,
queue up for mostly normals, ARAM is weird.
yeah, it has its little
Yeah,
off branch of.
it's it's weird. But when you queue up for normals, I think like for the most part, your thought process is I'm facing people that are about my skill level. Maybe not exactly what the level is for ranked, especially if you're high. Um, But I think for the most part, people understand that like you're facing people that are around your skill level, but there's no visual number for you to see that.
Yeah, I would say for normals, I don't really like. I
Right, but
don't
the thing
really care
is,
about my MMR for normals. If it's ranked, I would like to have my MMR displayed.
right, but if like Ether only has one Q though,
Oh yeah, then yeah. I mean,
then it's
I
like,
guess I guess they could like implement it to see the community's kind of reception, because like you could sit on a forum board and you could try and take a a tally of, oh, this random forum user says this sucks. It's like, just implement it. If the community doesn't like it, then just like take it out, or like do an online poll that the active community will
uh-huh,
participate in, and then just see. But
uh-huh.
I think it'd be good, at least me personally. Like, but I'm
Yeah,
also a very competitive person,
yeah,
so
we're
it's like,
very competitive, and I think most people that play MOBAs, I mean, most people that play MOBAs are competitive, but not to the same like degree. They're like casual
yeah,
competitive, and we're
yeah.
we're more competitive. If that makes sense to people.
I mean, it makes sense to me. Yeah,
I
no, I agree.
yeah. We kind of mentioned this. Well, not really, but should there be a limit on premades? Currently, they're leaning towards like 2 or 3, from what we last heard from them. But should there be a limit on premades, the amount of people you can queue up with? I would prefer if I could queue up with my 6 homies or 5 other homies, but I understand why they would want to limit it. I'll say that.
I mean, for normals, I think there's no reason. Like for initial alpha or whatever, it's like, who cares?
Well,
Like,
it's a lot of people get turned off when they have to go up against like somebody that's like 6 stacked.
well,
But
yeah, but you just do matchmaking. So like, yeah,
right,
obviously it won't be all the time, but if you're going versus 6 stack, right, or whatever, like, don't play it, pair them with somebody less than a 4 stack. But it's like,
yeah.
for like a new game normals, like, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't.
Well, like I played. There was some MOBA that came out on like the PS4 or something called like Genesis or something like that. It went they stopped it after like a month because people just they tried implementing pay to win tactics and people just hated it. But then that literally it was like almost I wouldn't say every other match, but it was like at least 20% of my matches were up against 5 stacks. And it's and you can tell because like all of a sudden the game just came out and within like 3 hours I've got 3-4 people running up to the top lane ganking me, and it's like you're obviously very coordinated and whatnot, and it's just like it does ruin the player experience, because obviously you don't want that. So like I never understood why that always happened in new games. Like you always would keep finding yourself as a solo up against stack.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it really depends on like how many people are playing, like how many active, unique matches are going on. Because
Okay.
like if the player base is large enough to where they could just be like, nope, if you're in a 4 to 6 stack, like you're only gonna be playing versus 4 to 6 stacks. Good luck. And then anybody like 2 or 3 below, like you're just gonna be playing, with everything below a 4 stack, right? It's like maybe that would be a way, but I also don't know if the player base during alpha is going to be big enough to like truly break it up into that. If they
Yeah.
can't do it, then I think you just limit it to like 3
Okay. I'm
and just
cool with
like
3. I mean with 3 people you can still get a lot done.
yeah,
Because that's like honestly, you give me 3 people, I'll put them jungle support, they run the whole map now. So
no, the impact everything. Yeah. I would say that would be kind of the how I would place that. I don't care about pre-mades as long as there's like a way to separate a full 6 stack versus like just a solo person just rolling around.
I think like the biggest concern is that like they don't want to implement like six stacks having to go up against like 6 stacks or 4 stacks or something like that because they like it would be like really long times at the start at
Yeah.
least. And like honestly, I guess it kind of depends. Like obviously, it depends on the player base, but I would like it if there was an option to be like, hey, you can 6 stack, but we are only gonna put you up against another 6 stack. It may take 20 minutes to find your game. It may take you a half hour to find a game, and then like based on how many 6 stacks we've got running around, then I'll be like, okay, like I can actually give an opinion as like, okay, this is too long, not worth it, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that'd be a good route to go.
I mean, I say that, but I'm already complaining about my 30-minute queue times in League, so that's probably not. I guess in League though it's worse because it's like in League I'm in queue, out of queue, in queue, out of
Yeah.
in champ select, out of champ select.
Dodge, chance select,
Yeah.
dodge. Like, come on. Okay, I'm out.
Um, should there be something like customs during the alpha where essentially we can have our competitive 6v6 scheduled like tournament matches? I
so,
want there to be, but
So yeah, I would say yes because like I don't really know how much it would really back end on the server, but like not even just for like a 6v6 kind of tournament style is like as a jungler, I would like to just test out paths. I would like to like test out clearing efficiency and like
mhm.
what the correct path is because like I don't want to have to queue up for a game. Like yes, I'll do it in a game anyway, but it's like it's so much easier if I can just queue up for a custom match, go into like the jungle, and just find an optimal path, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what like a lot of junglers will do with like the practice tools. They'll literally go into the practice tool and they'll just practice their clear like over and over and over. So I think I am biased because of that role, but I would say
Okay.
yes. Only for that reason, and then obviously for 6v6 like sweat matches, that would be dope too.
Yeah.
That'd be really dope.
Yeah, I don't know how much that um overloads the server. I mean, maybe I don't know if they're gonna like be like we're thinking about it, or we'll see how well the server does at launch, and then we'll decide. Because I think
To
it'd be
implement
cool.
it,
Yeah,
like tier it, maybe implement it like third week or something like that.
I don't know because and it would be something that they could like promote and be like, hey, we're having streamers showcase showdown, you
Yeah,
know, no,
I I think that's like a super interesting topic is how they're going to like release gameplay or how they're going to release
oh, I a hundred
the
percent
game.
hope that they'll be like they. I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna do this because most games nowadays do this, where they like have like the streamers and whatnot play the game before it's out, and
Mhm.
then they release the footage and whatnot. Where they have the streamers and the YouTubers play the games.
Hint, hint. I mean,
Hint,
because like,
hint.
look, Valorant did it, and it was like, I think it was super popular for Valorant, right? Where they had like, obviously they had a little bit more capital there, but it's like,
Yeah.
imagine just getting, the community base, like the community
Well, I mean, you
streamers,
don't
whatever.
need capital to do it necessarily. It's just like, I mean, you're already testing the servers anyways, and we're playing the game like what, 2 weeks in advance.
Oh
The
yeah,
footage is out a week later to hype it up. So
yeah. I just mean like, I was just saying like in line with what Valorant did, right? Because like Valorant had like,
well, that's
like Ninja Summit, like people like
well,
that,
that's
right?
sponsor stuff. I mean, I'm talking more
Well,
like
yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
invites, like, hey, come play this because
Yeah,
you want to do it. Like,
yeah. I think it'd be super dope to do it honestly, or have just like a little, like, I don't want to say a little tournament, right? But kind of like what Twitch Rivals does, where it's just like a for fun kind of,
yeah,
you
like we're
know,
trying, but
yeah, like we are all actively trying to win, but it's also like
yeah.
and it's a stress test, right? Because like if things don't work, it's like who cares? Especially if it's like the community participating, like the active community that wants the game to succeed. It's like
Hmm.
you literally have a pre-launch test bed, so then you could fix whatever, and then you have a launch test bed to, I think that'd be an amazing concept for them to do.
Yeah. I would also like to see them. They could do like content creators versus devs would be interesting if they don't want to get together 12 people from content creators. Yeah. Um so yeah, I guess we'll end on our last topic. What do we want to see from a gameplay trailer, and or what do we want more info on gameplay wise? I do know that I don't know if you watched the Enter the Ether podcast today,
Nope,
but
I've been asleep all day.
they answered like a few things. Most of it's like nothing necessarily groundbreaking.
Hmm.
A lot of like, oh, we fixed some animations, we've changed some numbers, and yada yada yada. But they announced that on the 22nd, I believe, it's not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, they're going to
Hmm.
be doing a live stream where they're going to be going through the jungle. And
Thank God.
yeah, so that's gonna be pretty cool because that is something that like is gonna be a big part is the jungle. I still want to know where the buffs are, what the buffs do, what exactly does the Tropos do, the Wyverns do, how strong are they? You know, are we gonna see like 5 minute Atropos or probably not, obviously,
No, please.
but
No. Yeah, I mean, so that's one thing I'd like. I would just like to see more gameplay. Like, obviously, we've seen that small. I think they had like the day where they had people playing. It
oh,
was
back
like
in
it was like
October.
yeah, it was like very early like, I would like to see more active gameplay, not
Hmm.
just like, oh, here's this very small clip of this one myth doing this one unique thing. Like, I would like to see a full 6v6 in like the gameplay trailer, and like see all of the particle effects and like whatever, and then also more jungle, more buffs, more, bosses. Like, what are the actual neutral objectives, and
They
why are they important?
Yeah, for the gameplay trailer part, I mean, maybe they'll take a bunch of streamers together and they'll throw. Or I keep saying streamers. Whenever I say streamers, I mean content creators in general. They'll take a bunch of content creators and just throw them in, and then just do like a highlight reel of them. You know, I'm like, oh my god, and like doing big
Yeah.
explosions everywhere, and they
I
could
mean,
do
and that I
that.
think I think that'd be perfectly fine, and it'd be very easy to do,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But I would like to actually see gameplay. It's like all of this cool news and stuff's coming out. It's like it's cool, like seeing the flying animation and the concept of that was dope. But it's also like, at what point are we going to
Yeah. When are we
see
gonna
it?
see the actual game?
Not just like a very canned version of one myth doing one ability, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, from how it sounded like for the Enter the Ether podcast, it was very much just like, hey, we're working on fixing bugs constantly. They also said that they do plan on doing like balance patches every 2 weeks, or at least
okay.
that's what Skifter was hoping for. That's not.
I think that's I think that's feasible. Every 2 weeks, and then obviously like hot fixes, can be applied at any time. But I think like a major balance fix should be like,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's
It's not like there's
completely
going to be that
fine.
much to balance. It's 7 myths to start with.
Yeah, it's
So
and then as time goes on, obviously they're gonna refine their process. Like this is completely a tangent, but like one thing that I hope they do is I hope they just refine their processes, because like what a lot of companies will do, or like a lot of esports, is they won't refine processes. Like they will just like make on the fly changes, and they won't make a standardized process to go through this, and they'll just make haphazard changes. Like League of Legends is finally figuring out, like Morgana jungle, for example. They over buffed her, and then they usually what they'll do is they'll nerf. They'll just nerf the champion directly into the ground, and they're like, all right, well, I mean, but like they've learned the process of like, okay, cool, I'm just going to micro nerf it, see what it does. Micro nerfs. Like, I just hope that they discover what works for them, because each MOBA is
each
different,
game's
right?
different.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, like at the start is not a whole lot. So if you do a big change, it's going to have a very dramatic effect because
Hmm.
it's like what like I mean obviously I'm gonna say like you're gonna probably see like every myth on a constant basis, but for all we know, everyone's gonna be like, yeah, we don't want to play Iran, we just don't want it. And he's gonna have like a 20% pick rate for no reason. Um,
Maybe I'll buff them up. Make it a little
That's what
beefier.
Riot does. Oh, this person doesn't have a high pick rate. Let's buff them.
Oh, they weren't bad to begin with. People just didn't play them.
Yeah, but oh my god, I still don't understand the whole karma shenanigans that we had like 2 years ago or something like that, where nobody was playing karma, and then I saw the buffs for her. I'm like, huh, I'm
Interesting.
playing karma, and she's already good. Huh. And then so they buffed her, and then everybody started playing her. But in pro play, before the buffs went through, they were playing on the previous patch, and then so she got buffed, and then it took them like 2 patches to nerf her
Yep.
down back to what it was. They were still playing her, and then they nerfed it like 2 more times, and they were still playing her. And it was just like, wow, if you asked anybody that played Karma, they would have told you, nah, she's good.
Yep. She's strong. She
But
good.
and so like and things happen like that all the time. Like when they buffed Nautilus, I was already like, I've been playing this person since like 6 months ago, and you're
Yeah.
buff like
He's
like
always been strong. Like
like they keep doing that, and they're finally like so. I think now they're doing a better job at like nerfing down people, and like you said, doing slow nerfs. My boy Thresh about to get nerfed again, and
I
Bard.
mean, he's
Uh,
pretty OP. So I mean, it'd be like that. I mean, like
yeah.
I also see that like you have to change the game state, right? So like I do think that sometimes it's super acceptable to over buff or over nerf a champion to like get them out of the meta. Like Hecarim, for example. That dude has been in the meta for like I don't even know how long. The meta has just been Hecarim Udyr. It's
Since
like
the
it doesn't
start.
matter. There's literally nothing if you play anything other than Hecarim Udyr, it's like you're gapped. Good luck. It's like 80% ban rate. So it's like it's sometimes you just need to get them out. So like, and when before Karma was getting played, like she was not played at all, right? Like before they buffed her. So it's like I do like that when organizations just buff things to diversify the meta.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess my main gripe is like when they do something when they do like a buff for pro play, and then they
Yeah.
like people start playing it before the things go through. It's like maybe you should maybe you should get rid of that on the
None of
current
them.
patch that they're not even playing on yet. Maybe you should get rid of that buff. That's my
Yeah.
main thing when they do something like
No, I got you.
but yeah, I think that covers everything. Um, unless you got anything else you want to talk about. Today's kind of just been variety to a degree.
No, man, I think this was good. I think we went over a lot of important things, honestly. No, I think this was good. I'm with it.
So that's gonna be it, guys, from us. You can find me and Rept on our YouTube and Twitch. Links for everything will be in the description below. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more Ethereal content. A new episode of Anima Talks comes out every Thursday, and we don't want you to miss it. But thanks, guys, and see you in the next one. Oh, I am tired though. Oh, I was.
Yeah, I stayed up all night last night.
It was pretty much just me at the alley today, being the manager, and so I ended up having to do everything. So it's like I had to vacuum the whole place, clean off all the tables, get all the balls that everybody's left out on the lanes over on the racks. And
You like it though?
oh yeah, I mean $1 game is $1 game.
How many games did you play today?
3.5. On the fourth one, my thumb ripped.
Yeah, thumb.
So because it's constantly chafing. Yeah, and I knew it was going to be bad anyways because when I got the balls out yesterday and I was just like doing like some practice swings, I could already feel it from having done nothing, just having the ball in my hand and just going back and forth. I could feel it. It's just like, ew, this is going to be bad, and especially like the alley. I didn't know that the alley opened up at 5. I thought it opened up at 3. They opened up on 3 on every other day. They opened up on 5 today, and I had to work at 6. So I had an hour to bowl. And so I was kind of rushing, which meant I was throwing the ball more. And yeah, so it was, yeah. And oh boy, he put me on the wrong set. He intentionally put me away from everybody else because he knew I wanted to bowl. Not have to worry about people around me. But he put me on a used sports pattern. For those that don't understand how bowling works, because I'm putting this in for the bonus scene or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea how.
So there's oil on the lanes. When you're trying to hook the ball, the more oil that there is, it takes longer for the ball to like read the lane and get friction going. And so it takes longer to start hooking essentially. So I mean, you have different balls and whatnot to help work on different patterns because sometimes patterns are really long, sometimes patterns are really short, and so you need different balls to do different things. A house pattern is like a triangle almost, where if you miss like to the right or to the left of your mark, it generally doesn't matter because your ball is going through if you miss right, generally you're going through less oil, which means that even though your ball is further out to the right, it's gonna have less oil, so it's gonna come back sooner.
It's gonna hook in.
Yeah, it's gonna hook in. And then if you miss left, there's more oil, so your ball's gonna go longer. And so it kind of like as long as like you're generally about in your right spot on a house shot, easy peasy. Especially back where I used to bowl. Well, it's still there technically. The alley's under renovation, and that's where I'll end up being put at when they're finished. But where I used to bowl, it was like literally like the easiest freaking pattern. You could just throw it up the side of the lane and you'll get a strike. A sports pattern is more blocky, so it's essentially like it'll just stop at a certain point. And so if you miss to the left, your ball is going left. If you miss to the right, your ball is going to be to the right of wherever you want it to go. As people are bowling on that pattern, the ball is eating up oil off the lane. The ball is pushing down oil on the lane, and it's also like spreading it from the path.
Hmm.
So generally, like you're supposed to like move over and like adjust your thing as the pattern's breaking down. When you get thrown onto that as the very first thing, what happens is or at least what happened to me today is like essentially I had a shit ton of oil from boards 10 to 1 to 10, which is essentially like second arrow on the right to the right of the lane. And then the next 5 boards, which is another like from arrow 2 to arrow 3, completely dry. Completely dry. And then everything else was flooded past that. So essentially, if once my ball hit boards 11 through 15, it took off. It took off. And if it was to the right of that, it just slid down the lane. And if it was to the left of that, it slid down the lane. And I hadn't bowled for over a year. So asking me to like, especially like when your like thumb gets bigger as you bowl a lot. I don't. If you have to go, man, just let me know.
No. Yeah. My freaking
your light.
My light was been flickering. It's been driving me crazy.
As you bowl, your thumb gets bigger just from it like coming. So like I don't know. Like you can. I don't know if you can really see it. It's kind of shrunk at this point, but my right thumb is bigger than the left one because of all the bowling that I've done. But it shrunk since I hadn't bowled for so long. So all the thumb holes don't fit anymore. No. So it's like I'm grabbing. We have tape to help mitigate it. It's like thick tape. I say thick for tape. So you put that in the hole to to help make up for that. And I was just like, I already have tape in there. I'm shoving more tape in.
Oh my God.
I'm out of tape now. I have to go buy more. I added like 2 pieces of tape in, which is pretty bad. But it's especially because like especially when you start warming up, your thumb gets warmed and it comes in and out a lot easier. But so it was. It was rough. I think I had one game that was a 176, which is pretty bad for what I used to be bowling. And that was only because I strung together a couple strikes. But everything else, I was just like, ugh. And I had some old guy next to me that was, at the end of it, I was like, I haven't bowled in a year. He's like, yeah, it's rough.
He's like, yeah, you're kind of bad. I could see you over there.
Yeah, man. I like my arm. I hope it's not going to be that sore, but my forearm from having to cup the ball and do it. I didn't even have a good form, anyways. You know, and I was hot. I was sweaty. It didn't help that I got there an hour before before it opened, because I was like, oh, I'll get there at 4 and I'll just take my time, you know. Nope. And it's like, yeah, no, you're gonna have to wait around for an hour. I was like, cool.
And then bowl super fast.
Yeah. So,
that's dope though. At least you got to play.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get dollar games for me and a bunch of other people if I want to, you know, and I get free fountain drinks. And I get half off of food while I'm working. So I got a lot of benefits.
That's pretty cool, dude. And is that going to transfer over to the other?
Oh yeah, I can go. So I work for Bolero, but Bolero also owns AMF. So the place I'm working at right now is the AMF that's a little bit up north from me. But I could go to any AMF and just be like, "Here's my employee ID number."
Awesome, dude. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, and it's like, yep, it's just once a day I get that deal. So
can you do you have to book his? So like you said, once a day. Do you have to book all of your games at that time?
I get 2 free games. That's the once a day thing. After that, it's dollar game.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I had there was two of the guys that work there, they were like, okay, so I'm gonna use my 2 free games and 2 free games for my other guy, and he's gonna use his 2 free games and 2 free games for me. So they ended up so like they got out of having to pay for it because they were like, okay, I get 2 free games for me and another person, or for me and my group, and he gets 2 free games for him and his group. So they got 4 games for free, and
Yeah,
like
that's funny.
that also includes shoes. You get shoes for free. Not like it matters for me because I've got my own, but because like for those that don't know, it's like at least like the place that I'm working at the moment charges like $5 per game, $5 per shoes, and that's per game per person.
Yep.
So and they have deals, but it doesn't,
I mean, it still adds up, right? So like if you're going there and you're playing 3 games, right?
bro.
Unless you have a group of like 10 people or whatever, so you have to get like 2 lanes. So 2 lanes, 3 games, 10 people.
Yeah.
Like it adds
Oh,
up.
I, the first day, like this guy and his kid bowled 5 games each, so 10 games total. $88 because of shoes and like all this stuff. I was just like, bro, I'm never paying $88 to go bowl.
That's a,
Never.
that that's a lot of games, dude. 5 games.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's not. It wouldn't be too bad if you had more people to pace you,
But
because
yeah, like just like
yeah,
just gone.
trying to speed bowl is not not good. It's okay. Like I've done it before where like I've gone up where it was like unlimited bowling for the whole night type of thing. And I've gone up, I've bowled like 15 games during the night in like a 2 hour session. And honestly, those nights I don't feel a thing. I'm never sore. But bowling 3.5 games today, I might be
Yep.
feeling it. I might be feeling it. And like I got like we have like a little hand squeezer thing I had sitting in my room, so in between games I'd be like, ooh.
I'm
That's so
warming up. I'm
that's
warming up.
so yeah. 'Cause I'm throwing
Like
15-pound balls down the lane at a lousy 14 miles an hour.
I mean, that's still pretty good.
Well, I don't have good form. Dropping the ball every time. Dropping the ball isn't like I'm. It's not
Yeah,
being
I know what
lost.
you're saying. Yeah.